Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to our MPTV Coaches Show. Ryan Lindley, Eric Myers, talking the week that was and the week that will come a little bit in Morton Potter's athletics. Let's talk a little bit boys basketball to kick things off. Two good wins this past week.
Yeah, so we played Limestone last Thursday. You got to hear us two on the call for that. You know, Limestone's maybe a down team, 2 wins here in the Mid-Atlantic and overall this season. A pretty easy win for the Potters there. Got a lot of different guys in the game. As we talked through that broadcast, though, it got some guys who have been on the bench a little bit, into their varsity action a little bit, operating with some different teams and schemes. Tried some different things. We saw that, the double screen. That was pretty cool. Maybe Coach Franks will bust that out. And then a big win versus Mid-Atlantic East Peoria over the weekend. So putting the Potters second place solidly there in the Mid-Atlantic Conference.
Yeah, they got 2 games left, both at home. They got this week, Friday night. That's also the game ball run game against Dunlap. Dunlap, kind of like Limestone, a little bit better than Limestone, but one of the teams that's toward the bottom of the Mid-Atlantic standings. So, obviously the Potters will definitely be a favorite in that game. And then senior night against Washington, obviously always a tough game. That'll be next Tuesday night.
Yeah, so make sure you come out to the Potter Dome. I'm sure all of our seniors would love to have you out there. 4 guys right there. Wish them the best of luck as they take on, as we know, a really good rival Washington team. What about girls basketball, Coach?
Yeah, girls basketball, again, a couple games this past week. Dominated East Peoria. We talked a little bit about that, I believe, on last week's show. And then obviously played Dunlap on the road this past weekend, Friday night. Dominated Dunlap, so 2 big wins there. The domination of East Peoria probably kind of expected, but beating Dunlap by 19. Dunlap finished second in the Mid-Atlantic. Potters beat them by 19. You feel really good about that.
Yeah, it's a very big win right there. Putting everything together, but then it all kind of came to an end last night, right?
Yeah, the winning streak ended. First loss in 8 games was a 44-40 loss to the Washington Panthers. Washington Mid-Atlantic champs, so tip of the cap to Washington at 13-1 in the Mid-Atlantic. Their only loss to that Dunlap team that we were just talking about. But Lady Potters battled for the full 32 minutes. It was one of those games that came down to the final seconds, and you look at it and just bottom line is Washington makes 1 more play or 2 more plays, and so they get a close win.
Yeah, and their star player really took over there at the end. She knew that everything was on the line, and she kind of took the ball to the hole there in those last 2-3 minutes. Potters had a chance there at the end. They had the ball with a 2-possession game with about 45 seconds left. Just couldn't make it happen. But real good job right there to our Lady Potters.
Yeah, they finished 3rd in the Mid-Atlantic. Probably more important, though, than finishing 3rd was rolling on that 8-game win streak that creates a lot of momentum going into the postseason. And they'll play Peoria Notre Dame, which is a team that they beat during that win streak by 3. That'll be at Limestone, though. So they played them at Notre Dame. Now we're going to hit the road over to Martinville and play them at Limestone for the regional.
Yeah, neutral site for that first regional game. That'll be Monday night. Coach is going to be on the call there with somebody. We'll figure out who that is. But so make sure you tune into that for the MPTV on the NFHS network for that. Wish our ladies the best of luck in their postseason. So moving on, wrestling. So wrestling competed in regionals last weekend. We had 6 or 7 guys compete, do really well, make the podium right there. We're going to have those guys heading to sectionals this weekend. So hats off to our Morton High School wrestling team. Speaking of sectionals, what about bowling?
Yeah, girls bowling, a tremendous performance at regionals. Coach Tucker, I had a chance to talk to him yesterday, truly excited. Probably he said that they overachieved, which is a great place to be, obviously, in the postseason. They finished 3rd at regionals, which means they're going to sectionals. Morgan Robinson was 2nd overall as an individual, so she's in a great position if she's another really good couple rounds at the sectionals to maybe even advance to state. So,
girls bowling
really bowling their best as you go into the postseason.
They're rolling into
the postseason.
There we go. That was a good one. But so all of our Potter teams here are heading to the postseason. I think the only unknown that we have currently is boys basketball, which is this is going to come out on Thursday, so it'll be coming out this Friday at 4 p.m. on the IHSA website. Figure out kind of where we go there. But what are your guts thoughts as to where we're going to come with boys basketball postseason?
Yeah, we broke it down a little bit on the broadcast last week against Limestone, and I kind of shared the idea that I figure they're a 2 seed. I think you got to give Lincoln credit. Lincoln's got 20+ wins. They've only lost 4 games all season, but the Potters have basically the same win total. They've got 1 less win than Lincoln as we sit here right now. They do have a few more losses. Again, they've played more games, but ultimately, I think you got to give Lincoln the respect and give them the 1 seed. Potters should get a 2 seed. Normal West looks like the 3. The way that breaks down, you're most likely looking at Normal West being a regional host, so it'll probably be the Potters at Normal West. They'll play maybe a Muhammad Seymour or a Champaign Central in the first round game, and then most likely match up against the host Normal West Wildcats in a regional final.
Yeah, so lots of good basketball, lots of good athletics coming to your way. Obviously, if you like anything that we do, you can subscribe to us on YouTube and Morton Potter TV. Watch us on the NFHS network. Watch us anywhere. Like, share, subscribe. Be sure to go out and support your Potters athletics as we approach senior night and postseason for a variety of sports here at Morton Potters TV. Any final thoughts?
Nothing huge. I just say this. We had a chance to talk with dance team coach Ashley Beyer. We'll go ahead and roll that interview, and then we'll say goodbye, folks. Welcome back to our MPTV Coaches Show. Ryan Lindley here with our head dance coach, Ashley Beyer. Coach, state dance, made it to the final day. Big question, I guess, to start with is just kind of take us through the preliminary rounds and then kind of get to that point where you realize, like, hey, we're making it to the final day.
Yeah, so it kind of started with sectionals, and sectionals we ended up having a girl basically get the stomach flu the morning of. So we had to rework some things at the last second, and so the girls did great though. We focused for an hour before we had to perform. Some girls had to completely change parts, so the fact that they got third in sectionals, almost got second, was a pretty big deal. We were super excited for it, especially going in. We thought we were fighting for the 5th or 6th spot, so I think that gave us a lot of confidence going into state. State, it was pretty intimidating just because it's in an arena, so that was really cool. And then when we got there, you never know what the judges are looking for because it's all genres. You have hip hop against pom, against lyrical, against jazz. So it's really, you kind of have no idea. So when you go down and they kind of list the top 12 in just random order, and when they called us, like, we were so excited because you really just don't know. And then on the final day, you have the top 12 teams in your class competing against each other, and some of these teams, the amount of skill that they have is amazing. It was just really a great learning experience, and it was just really cool to make so much school history in the first year competing.
Yeah, that's just so awesome. And just kind of, talk about, I know the final day obviously maybe wasn't exactly where you wanted it to be, but just kind of talk about just the excitement of being there on that last day.
Yeah, you just get to share that stage with all these other teams that have been working just as hard, if not harder or more, and they've been competing for a lot longer than we have. I'm pretty sure we were the only team there that this was our first year competing. So just really learning from these other teams, learning from the other coaches how they kind of do things. It was just really cool to talk to some of these coaches, especially even just 2A, 3A coaches that have more kids in their schools, and just see how they do things and just how different things can be. So for me as a coach, just a really, really good learning opportunity.
Awesome. And let's just talk a little bit about, you made it through year one and obviously it was really successful. Yes. How does that kind of set the stage as we go into year two next year?
Year two is going to be great. I'm excited. We have a lot of really big things planned. There's things that we're kind of starting to put into the works for what that's going to look like. We have tryouts coming up March 9th. There's a parent meeting in almost is it a week? No, a little bit, like 2 weeks I think it is. It's on Thursday the 16th of February. So we're really excited. We want to see lots of people come out. Obviously, the more that we can kind of look at and get into our program, the more we can work with. We've got a lot of really cool things planned for the summer, bringing in some people. So it's now we know what it looks like, and now we know what it needs to be, and we're excited to get that rolling.
That's awesome. Well, congrats on a great first year, and look forward to year two.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this.
Well, really good to hear about their dance experience there. You had the opportunity to sit down with Coach Beyer. Pretty cool that they're building on this momentum, taking it to next year as well. So best of luck as Coach Beyer builds out that team. And if you're interested in trying, make sure you reach out to Coach Beyer. She can get you all set up with everything that you need.
Absolutely, and again, just really exciting. We're going to roll into the postseason. Again, pay attention to, obviously, make sure you're tuning in here each week. Check out the IHSA website, our school website, 8-18. You can track all our various Potters teams as they go through the postseason, and we hope we see, a really deep postseason run for all these squads.
Yeah, and then we'll shortly, very, very shortly here in about 2 weeks, spring sports start. So hopefully we'll start to bring you some spring sports previews for that as well. So for Ryan Lindley, I'm Eric Myers. Until next week, thanks guys.